Hello, this video was always meant to come out, however, due to a lot of things going on, I kind of wanted to do it today because it's past 6 a.m. I cannot sleep due to quite a lot of things, and I thought now's the perfect time for me to do this because I've been waiting to do this for a while, and due to someone I know mentioning this again, I feel like it's time for me to make this video. I'm gonna just start off with the notes I already wrote for this, and then I'm gonna get into more freestyle, usual content. So, MamaMax is a notorious YouTuber. He's well known for Pick a Side YouTube, which did absolutely nothing. He created the Believe All Abusers, which showed it showed he was obsessed with a girl who did not like him back, so he tried to kill himself in the army. And that entire video was just gaslighting, manipulation. There's only one person mentioned who could have potentially have done something bad to Max. However, all the other girls who spoke out against him, the one person I was just referring to, did not speak out against Max, but the girls who did speak out against Max, they weren't lying. Like Max tries to make you believe, as well as one of his friends, who we'll get to later. So I've talked about him once in the past, and I will be going more into that than I would have originally, because I feel like it's incredibly relevant to the current conversation regarding him. So Max has recently had one of his accounts banned, the Mega Share account, which is like a file sharing app, account thing, and it's been sent to the authorities for like potential child sexual exploitation material, bestiality, etc. I think terrorism was one of the things. Like, it's like a category thing. Now, this is very important because, one, Max claims that he's received child pornography in his emails before, which, if he's opened that, or he kept it on his computer, you kind of see the issue. If you didn't, I'd be like, oh shit, someone sent me literal CP. You think you'd go to the authorities with that? So, there's also something else that is slightly interesting with this. So, on his Patreon back around June 2023-ish, I think it was 2023, I'm not too sure, but on his Patreon, he had a video that stimulates sexual abuse, specifically child sexual exploitation material. Now, Max claimed it was a consented adult, and also AGI, so basically aging her down or something like that. And no one was harmed, so there's no issue. I've had that defense before. I think some of us on certain sides of the internet have also heard that defense used by lolicons, aka pedophiles. Because it's not a real child, there's no issue. That shit is illegal here in the UK. Lolly is completely illegal here, rightly so, because it's, And for that video to even be on his Patreon might violate some TOS, but also is illegal in quite a few areas. So, you fucked up again, Max. So, I found in my notes 2023, June 2023. But it resurfaced at the end of last year, December 2023. Himbleton made a video where screenshots were shown by a Patreon conversation, like comments. And yeah, that's how I found out. I went on a live stream with my friend Cringy, and we discussed it. We both felt incredibly sick. And Max claimed it was like an art project. Seriously, it's not an art project. How is a horrific thing that a shit ton of children and adults, because it's human trafficking, it all combined into one sort of thing. How is that an art project? Visualizing the horrific things people go through. How is that an art project? Especially since, I'm just gonna point out his Patreon names the tiers like fetus, embryo. It's kind of an obsession around like young sort of thing. He also calls his audience kids. That's weird. But like, his excuses are fucking gross. And they do not justify this shit. And something that also pissed me off is he did an interview with Spencer, who's an alleged victim of this vampire werewolf sex cult thing that so far has no evidence of. And there's a bit of well, let's just say the reality of it might be questionable. So Spencer, who's apparently this victim, but the things that Spencer has admitted to, I think more perpetrator potentially kicking in if this entire thing's real. Just saying. Well, they said talking about a paedophile and a rapist who has victimized hundreds of people should be a moral responsibility. If that ruins your mental health, you're extremely sensitive. End quote. Just take that in. If you get triggered by the topic of a paedophile and or a rapist, you're extremely sensitive. That's what Spencer's saying. And also, Max said yeah to it. He agreed with the statement. One, not everyone wants to talk about it for a shit ton of reasons. That includes being sensitive to it due to being like you can be triggered by the material. Not having enough information being one. And Max, you want big YouTubers to talk about this weird vampire sex cult thing. You provide zero information, not even a single screenshot of its proper existence, you know. And like, if we don't want to talk about something, we don't have to. You know? You can't force us to talk about someone. And we're not extremely sensitive. We're human beings. We have fucking feelings. If we, stop breaking down crying, or whatever a natural response to a triggering topic is for a person, that is not weak. That's actually quite strong. It's showing that you are able to express how you feel. And I think out of all the people to say that, Spencer saying that is fucking ridiculously gross. You claim that you were raped and forcibly impregnated and then forcibly had miscarriages. And you claim that someone you knew was raped and went to the police. Apparently the police weren't very helpful. They actually did investigate, and I'm going to come back onto that in a minute. And Spencer, you say that people who are triggered by it are extremely sensitive because it damages their mental health. I think that's hypocritical as fuck. And I think that statement alone shows that you aren't fully telling the truth, in my opinion, due to what I'm about to tell. So this person named Kai was mentioned in the podcast and stuff, Apparently, the police never investigated Kai's claims of rape by this Camden person. Well, a police report was actually found. The freedom of information thing. Someone got it, and it's on the internet. And the police did actually investigate the claim. This Camden person wasn't there at the time that she claimed she was assaulted. He was sleeping at his friend's house, who actually the police were given the guy's phone number and was able to give an alibi. The only time Camden was at her house, he was sat outside apparently, and she was just running around the house because she wanted a phone charger. And apparently, he never went inside the house. And I feel like that is something that needs to be brought up because someone getting that police report proving that Spencer lied on that. But also, in a taken down stream, I don't know if it's still up or not, but one of the people who was alleged to be part of this, who I actually believe more than anything, was calling Max out. Max was like, oh, the police are rude and unhelpful. No, the girl was lovely. Well, the person was lovely about it. They were like, no, they were helpful. And I understood that they couldn't do anything, like, due to lack of evidence and stuff, just testimony. They were so fucking respectful on that. They called Max's bullshit. Which makes me believe, oh, if this person who is not living with Max, unlike Spencer, is able to call out Max's bullshit and actually correct him, how much has Max and Spencer rehearsed? Because they lied about Kai, for one. Also, I've been seeing some posts on forums that people found, like, Spencer's old Tumblr and stuff, and literally not 2 months or something after they were reported missing, they were posting on Tumblr and stuff, claiming that they had a fiance and shit. And that doesn't sound like abduction, like, fully, you know, like, they were able to use a phone and couldn't tell their parents where they were. Also, the amount that they had to travel, not even a scrap of it exists. And that's just weird, honestly. No one has provided any sort of evidence that it even existed. And the way that Spencer mentioned it, it's like, oh, it happened on Kit. It was like, oh, all the individual chats or something. It's like, so not one person can get a single screenshot of anything. And it's like, not even one proper screenshot of the actual thing existing. I'm just saying. It could well exist, but there's been no proof of his physical existence. Now moving on to the fuel for this video. So, if you don't know, I've had a bit of an argument with Max. Well, I say argument, I had a bit of an issue with Max. So, let's rewind the clock to 2022. August 2022, I spoke out against someone. Craig Beckett, who had sexual communications with me when I was 17 and he was 29. Yeah. And there was certain material included in that. You know what he did? He buggered off the internet. He was like, fuck, shit, I'm out. Because he knew he got called out. He got caught. He tried to defend himself, got fucking slated, went. So then, in October 2022, You know what Max decided to do? He decided to talk to Craig, have a bit of a laughing joke, which is actually obvious. It's not something that I'm assuming, it is just completely obvious. And posted a picture of Craig with pray written on his forehead and laughing tears all down his face. Well, not probably all down his face, but you can tell it wasn't like crying tears because of his eyes and also like the cheeks. So they were laughing about that. And you want to know why? Max joked and talked about it and got Craig to do that for a rap video. Yes, a rap video. And this is some shit, you know? Because a bit prior, Max decided, I was told that Max wants to speak to me. So I was added into a group chat with someone and Max. And Max apologized to me for what Craig had done. Strange, isn't it? But then later, quite a bit later, I can't remember timelines exactly, he claimed that he got an apology video from Craig that he was going to give to me. But apparently I showed no interest. But in reality, I was just acting as calm and professional as I could so that I could just basically get the conversation completely, whatever, and not like drag it on or like say shit irrelevant. So it was all like pretty, simple, professional, you could say. So how did I show no interest in something I did not know existed? The whole conversation me and Max and this other person had in those DMs was all for Max. It was something he could have in his back pocket if he ever fucking needed it. If he ever needed like, oh, she's okay with me sort of thing. That was his fucking chess piece. But I'm making it mine. Not his. So he posted a rap video. In the video there's like a little snippet. It's like, oh, I need an apology from you, Craig, essentially. His friend, I don't know if they're still friends, but his still had communication with at the time sort of thing. You asked publicly for an apology? Why? That's the only proper acknowledgement that Max has ever done publicly about what Craig did. Now, I said this in a tweet, and I think it was a fucking amazing idea that Max completely missed out on. He could have made a video about how the closest people could turn out to be such good people. Like, he could have done a whole video about what Craig had done, how he kept it so secret sort of thing, which part of me believes he didn't keep it so secret. But there's so much he could do. And hell, I could have even been like, hey, this is actually a good idea. I don't mind if you go ahead with it sort of thing. But no, he chose the stupid option that because he'll make him money sort of thing. He'll give him attention sort of thing. Not awareness about what his fucking friend did. No, money comes first. Views come first. So I fucking called it out. I was sick of it. I got gaslit into thinking I was overreacting, and I remember basically it's like, oh, MamaMax conspiracy theories continue and shit like that. And I was made to feel like I was overreacting. When in reality I wasn't. I was just speaking at the wrong time. And I think if this all happened now, sort of thing, I wouldn't have been gaslit. I would have been praised for saying it. And I was saying the right things at the wrong time, basically. And now it's the right time. And I want to run through some things also. So keep in mind, this entire thing happened when I was 17. I wasn't even an adult yet. And I was managing all that. And the way that Max had just disregarded everything, and the fact that he's known to use people who have been through shit like me and worse for content, it's just sickening. And honestly, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm pissed that no one realised this properly sooner. That no one really understood me right. Because it was always known. Yeah, it took this year and the end of last year for the cracks to finally show for people. And there was a few people who did listen to me. I am so grateful for them. But now it's like I have my voice again. But I'm also scared to use it. And the way that Max is going about things, especially with this Camden guy, is fucking gross. And also calling Anthony, Magnetar a pedophile and shit. He's not. He's explained everything. And I know that also he's also a good person. I've had private conversations. He's always been very supportive. And I just wish people really took a look at Max in the lens of someone like me. Not like as a content thing, but like really like a personal level. Where shit you went through was being used for content that was only in the gain of the creator. And I feel that's just so fucking gross. That I was I was gaslit into thinking I was overreacting. I remember taking down my statement on Twitter and also private to my video, which I've put back up. And so if you look at it from my perspective, you see a whole different side of things. You see how calculated he was, how he specifically timed everything he'd say. Everything Max did to me in this situation, because I'm just gonna say that, it was strategic. He knew posting that photo of Craig would get him views, give him attention. He knew specifically the word pray on his forehead would give him attention. Because it was specific, it was calculated, he knew exactly what Craig had done. But he knew that Craig was gonna get him views. Because it had been over about 2 months since I spoke out. I had finished the Google Drive about September 14th that year. He knew Craig wasn't the main thing people were talking about. Yeah, sometimes his ex-girlfriend. But he knew exactly how to get the views. He knew exactly how to get people to click on that video. He knew exactly how to get people to write comments on that video. He planned every single thing of this. He knew strategically. He's calculated. It's like a game of chess to him. Well, I'm flipping the board. He knew exactly what he was fucking doing. His DMs with me, he knew what I was doing. His DMs to the other person, lying about people, especially one of my friends. All calculated, all strategic. He knew that if he said the right words and did everything like a game of chess, he'd win. He'd get what he wants. And us, the pawns, are just kicked off the table. We're taken off. And he gets to take the game. he gets to win. Not today. And I hope to fucking God people stop diminishing what Max is doing. Everything he has done over the past, 3 years or so? Every fucking thing. He has done so much shit. You couldn't even do it in a HH Bomber Guy style link video. And yet, it feels like we're only scratching the surface when it comes to Max. And I hope to fucking God one day people have absolutely finished with his shit and mature to see that he is fucking awful and that Max should never be worked with. You should never work for. I do not care how good the money is. If you want to have your name associated with someone who creates stimulated child sexual exploitation material, who fakes court documents, who lies about people, creating false allegations against people, proven false, who makes people feel like a prop, who moves in an alleged victim of a supposed cult for content, who was mastering a 17-year-old when they were 20, lying about his age. You know, we're not forgetting what he did to Lucy. We're not forgetting that. We cannot fucking forget what he has done, because everything is like, it's like fairy lights, you know. I've got some above my little cabinet thing. They're all connected together. Every little incident is connected. Everything is not like randomly dotted. Everything's just connected because it all ties back into Max. And also, with a lot of things, especially his believable abuser video, when in reality the only potential abuser was one person. And like the interview he did with Craig, which I thought was kind of fucking funny now. You know, because Craig, what he did to me and someone else, is like all of it is like fairy lights on a string, waiting for people to light it up so everything comes to light. That's how it feels. And that is how it's gonna end when Max is finally fucking kicked off YouTube, where he's no longer respected, not even by the fucking lolcows like Slug and his fucking shit. The day Max is not even respected by the lowest of people will be the day that things are finally finished, when things are finally right. Because him just leaving YouTube isn't enough, because he's still respected by certain people. He's still respected by the lowest of lives. And that deplores me. People work for him, knowing everything he's done, defending the fucker, going after people who speak out against him. That is deplorable. Thank you for watching my early morning rant and sleep deprived, slightly hungover still.